multi-use arena land at 262 Hereford Street. So Luke Rees-Thomas and Bruce Rendell, welcome to the table.
Afternoon.
Thank you. And any remarks on this report?
So look, this report is about trying to get ahead of the game, although we're still responding a bit in this case, but we're working to be sending a message that we want to find solutions, we want to find ways of utilising our land to get revenue, but being forward focused and trying to send a message of being open for business to allow for use of our land by the community and potentially by commercial operators. So in this case, we've got a piece of land that we know is available for several years and could be utilised. We want to go out to the community and to businesses and see if there's any use that they can put to it. Some have already indicated some ideas. We need to explore those. We're suggesting a two-stage process and recommending a two-stage process so that we can bring back those ideas to you to then draw up a shortlist before taking them back to get further detail on that as well, because we haven't got a clear idea of what you as governors would see as acceptable or not. So I'll stop there and really turn for questions.
All right, thank you. So the timeline for this two-stage process, how long will it take to get from beginning to end?
Yep.
Oh, maybe 6 to 8 months all up. Probably 3 months for an EOI, reporting back to the committee, then an RFP, depending on the results, and again probably another 2 months. But there's also a consultation element in this as well, if we grant a lease over 6 months.
I think we would be working on a slightly faster than that process, but you're probably looking at 3 to 4 months all up for a process there.
And I know there's been some suggestion that this could be a one-stage rather than a two-stage process, and we could go straight to RFP and then consider proposals that came in without the need for the 2 stages. What would your view of that be?
That's certainly a possibility. In that case, we would need to still keep governors informed of the potential uses and make sure that we're considering those, and that might be through checking in early on with evaluation criteria and making sure that you are completely comfortable with evaluation criteria. We've suggested that that might then extend evaluation criteria away from just purely revenue and commercial factors to include amenity factors, so that we're taking into account community concerns very early on.
All right. And how long would that one-stage process take?
You're probably looking at a couple of weeks to get a document prepared, a 4-week process to get that out and allow for sensible submissions, and then another 2-week period for consideration and evaluation.
Okay, so less than half the time, much less than half the time of the 2-stage process.
Plus consultation.
Okay, all right. Are there any further questions on this? Yanni and then Phil.
Yeah, I guess just 2 questions in terms of alternative use. I know previously when our board was briefed on the Sexton's house at the Barbados Cemetery, that there was a request from the Parks unit for a need for space for a works yard. So this would be ideal with the car parking and the facility. So I just wanted to ensure that we've been through our internal
Keep in mind we're talking about a temporary use. Setting up a works depot is a very expensive process, and we wouldn't be looking to do that as a temporary use.
Sorry, not a full-on works depot. I think it was just storage, and it wasn't a big flash thing that I thought the need was, but just wanted to check that we have checked with our other council units. And then the other one that comes to mind is obviously the youth space in the eastern frame is going because Fletchers are doing the development, and just wondering whether that might be a suitable temporary place. So that was only the other piece of feedback.
Well, at the moment, the report only focuses on the corner site, which is actually not that large. The building and the car park might be used by the CMUA development team, the construction team. So the report is just focusing on the corner site.
I don't think they'd need a massive space, but it just may be a possibility if there was a need. I'll apologise, I need to leave, but
Yeah,
just people can consider that however they like.
Aware of that, thank you. All right, further questions, Phil?
Thanks, guys, and good on you for looking at ways of getting money in for the council. But I think in this case, that this piece of land is no bigger than this room that we're sitting in. It's tiny, and for the effort that you're going to go to do all this stuff, for, I'd say on a good day with a tailwind, you might have someone in there by Christmas time, would you? Yep. So that's 2 years. 2 years they've got, and I think for all the work and effort you're doing, I would suggest that you're going to do the building to the stadium guys, maybe.
Yep.
Why don't you just throw this bit at it as well? And they'll put some porta coms or a car park or something on there. They'll soon fill it up. They'll be building a small city there of people to look after it. And all I'm trying to do is not suggest that you go to a hell of a lot of work for not a lot of return.
So we've worked closely with CMUA to get to this point, and in many ways we're working on their behalf. So that they've certainly taken that into account. They're still recommending that they see some benefit, especially if they can get some additional revenue off it. We can certainly go back to them with those concerns.
Thank you. Anne?
Desire to generate income from this bit of land. So you might have some ideas already about some thoughts about how you could do that. You know, you haven't brought any ideas. You've got some thoughts about that?
Certainly we're aware that some have suggested the use for a billboard. That's got its own challenges in terms of consenting requirements. But what we want to do is ask the community and ask businesses if they can come up with ideas for a temporary use on that site.
Okay.
Sam?
So I'm just trying to understand, and can you just put it in really layman's terms for me, I guess the material difference between the staff recommendation and the alternate resolution that's there?
Yeah. So the material is we don't come back to councillors for a decision on effectively the shortlist of acceptable uses. So in an EII process, you'd go out, you'd get a long list of uses, you'd then use your criteria to narrow that down, make sure that you are comfortable, and then ask them to provide a detailed proposal including revenue projections in this case. The alternative just simply says provide your best shot right at the start. You don't get that chance to say, actually, we don't like this. And then if you're coming back through your evaluation criteria and they're preferred based on your evaluation criteria, you're in a less able to exclude at that later stage.
But it's only temporary anyway, isn't it?
It's only temporary, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to move the alternate resolution if...
And I'm happy to second it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. So that puts the alternative resolution on the table, which is what I was hoping would happen. Are there any further questions?
Do you want to just clarify though whether in part 4 of that you want A or B?
B.
Just get on with
All right.
And you can keep us informed as you go through that process.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I'll make a few comments in a minute, but yeah. Okay, no further questions? So this has been moved and seconded. I'm glad that we went to the second set of resolutions rather than the first. I mean, I understand the robustness of the first and why staff made the recommendations that you did. But, you know, we're looking at an opportunity here and we want to be able to realise that opportunity as quickly as possible. We're looking at an opportunity for some income, obviously, from this piece of land. We're looking at the opportunity for some use of a piece of land which is in a prominent position. And my view is we need to be getting on with that as quickly and as efficiently as we possibly can. I think what we've got in front of us by way of this resolution is something which is workable and robust, but is going to take much less time to achieve an outcome than the proposal that was described to us, particularly around the timings and the 2 stages in the staff recommendation. I think here we found the right balance, bearing in mind that this is a temporary use. It's only going to be happening for a short period of time, and there are some activities that might come up in proposals that would require consenting anyway, which would deal with any adverse effects or any other matters that might be concerns in that way. So, yeah, I think here we're taking the opportunity, we're getting on with it as quickly as we can, but still using a robust process. Any further comments? So I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? So Sarah voting against. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.